Hey guys, welcome back. Check out this video by Snoop Dogg.
But as you grow, you lose certain homies because it's called closing the gap. This is the gap when we start. This is the gap as you grow. Notice how you grow and they don't. So how do you close the gap? You got to come back down. When you come back down, you lose. So you got to keep going up. That's why closing the gap got to be them catching up to you. And if they don't catch up, you got to leave them behind.
Kirby, I like how he explained that really well, especially when he was talking about closing the gap, how it's got to be the other way around. Your friends have to close the gap. They got to catch up to you. I really liked when he said that because it's true. Because if you're the one that's going to close it, you're going to be held back and you won't achieve everything that you wanted to achieve. And sometimes, unfortunately, you do have to cut out family. That's how serious it can be. Sometimes you have to cut out best friends, people you grew up with. But it's all, like you said, it's part of the game. And sometimes the game just puts you in those situations to see who's going to be the one to stay. So, but what do you got on this video?
Uh, for me, it was the same thing when I first talked to you about finance. I remember when I first talked to you about finance, I'll never forget we were sitting at the pub and you had the mindset of, hey, if I figure it out, I want to tell all my friends, the ones that I grew up with, the ones I played hide go seek with, red, light, green, like cousins, family, aunts, uncles, for me personally, all my family struggle financially. So I always said the same thing that you said. Once I figure this out, I'm going to share with them, and then they will want to get on board because, of course, they want more money. And sadly, as you realize now, you sit there and you gather all this information. You get all the nuances. You find the steps, the processes, the procedures to make it happen. And then now you go out to try to now, and then it's beneficial financially to you, and then you start sharing it with your loved ones, and then they just want to stay in the same business that they're in. I was the same way, and it was like every conversation, everybody I ran into, every family member that talked to me, and I ain't gonna lie, it's probably I talked about it so much they'd be like, "Forget this, we ain't even talking to him no more. He talking about finances." But the reason why was because I wanted them to win just like I was winning. I remember I remember when I really got heavy into it, I was in Iraq. I think I had like 25 soldiers up under me at the time. And I talked to them about finance all the time, getting it, getting it, getting it. And then everybody was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But everybody was at the BX. Everybody was wiring money home to family and friends. And then you wake up 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, and then you're sitting at one plateau going on to your journey to where you're trying to go. And then these same people that you talk to, I mean, friends, families, soldiers in my case, and me in my case, soldiers are very close to me, just like family members. And everybody is at the same position you was at when you still talking to them, or they're in a worse financial position than they were. And the only thing they had to do was just jump on the ride with you and take it off. I mean, the take off. Um, but you see it a lot. You see it a lot, and the true reality of you can sit there and try to keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. I mean, it was so bad. Every time my phone rung, that's the only thing we talked about. And and it caused a lot of rift in relationships because I'm trying to win, you're not trying to win, and I only got one choice. I can sit here and just be like, okay, I'm cool with you. Let's just go to the club, let's party, let's just go hang out, or I can keep going on my journey. And then I just chose my journey. And Marissa Seals said it. She was like, "Is lonely at the top. It's not lonely at the top because people who strive for success thought they was better. It was because just like Snoop Dogg said, it's that gap. You start elevating yourself. You start hanging around people that's doing it. You start doing more, and then all the people you grew up with, they're still down here. And then back in the hood, you got to be real to the hood. You got to be real to the hood, and then that brings a lot of people back down to that level, the crab in the barrel mentality. But the truth is, it's their obligation to catch up with you. And then if they don't catch up with you, then you get on the train and you get ran over. That's exactly how I look at it. So what Snoop Dogg said is very on point. And that's probably the hardest concept it is for people to get because we indoctrinated from birth. Oh, it's all about family. It's all about sticking together no matter what. It's all about being real to the hood. It's all about family. Just the only thing you have. I can be honest today. It's not a family member that I can call and say, "Hey, I need you right now," and they'll show up. They don't even have the financial means to show up, but they can all call me and I show up. But it's nobody that I can call right now and be like, "Hey, I need this done." They'll be there to do it. So I think Snoop Dogg's a point.
It's one of the weirdest things, as you start to grow and, maybe you're still close to, maybe you still see sometimes your family that you grew up with or friends, and to see where they're at and where you're at and where they could be, where they could have been with you, but they're not, and they're still complaining about the same thing years ago. It's an odd feeling. Um, but I think that especially for those that want to take that journey, they have to understand that at some point you got to let go because you have to let go of, trying to help that friend. I've seen it with one person I know that they're starting to get more and more involved in, investing and becoming better financially. And they've got a friend that they want to kind of like teach and mentor, and that person's just not on board. They don't care. And they're like, I can't let my friends just stay behind. Sometimes you got to. I mean, it's not like you're doing it intentionally, but the amount of time and energy you're gonna waste trying to bring that person along with you, you're gonna be forcing them along with you. And at that point, that's just holding you down. It's like you're dragging this person with you, and they don't even want to be along that path. So you have to know when to cut someone off and continue on your journey, and that weight you'll cut off will allow you to propel faster.
Yeah. I mean, I remember an analogy, and I mean, I'm gonna try to describe it in words. The picture, it's about a guy on a boat, and he's trying to cross this river, but he got family members and friends drilling holes in the boat, and the boat's sinking, and he over here trying to throw water off the boat, and they still drilling holes in the boat, and still trying to get this boat across the river. That's really the concept that it is when you're dragging people along. It's it's you riding with me or not, but I can't wait because the thing is, as we get older, my obligation is not to the hood. My obligation is not to the friends of yesteryear. My obligation is to the family I created. Now, if you got a family that you created, spouse, kids, that ain't on the ship, then that's shame on you. Because you should have been having these conversations way before, getting married. But that is my obligation. Now, if you want to get on and you want me to share the information and you want me to, help you, give you information while I'm still going across the river, and you got your own boat, then fine. But you damn sure can't get on the boat with me. And another thing that I see is like the same people that I talked to, years ago that didn't do it, and then they'll reach out every now and then and ask financial questions. They always want the information for them to go from where they're at today to where I'm at tomorrow. They want to skip the whole steps. Hey, man, I got $1,000. Where can I put it in tomorrow to make it to 1 million? Ooh, hell, if I knew that, you wouldn't even have my phone number.
Oh, I got one too, and I don't mean to cut you off,
Mm-hmm.
but I've gotten this
You
too,
good?
like, hey, my friend or my brother or whatever has $50,000. Where would you suggest that they put the money? And that's such a hard question because it's like I can't I can't tell them because I know what I would do with that money, but
Mm-hmm.
for that person that lacks the knowledge that I have, they're not gonna understand what I'm trying to explain to them with how to invest it, where to deploy it. The concept is not going to be understood. So you have to like say, well, that's great that they got all that money, but you're going to have to take all these baby steps. You need to make sure your debt's paid off, pay off all your debt. Make sure you have some kind of emergency fund because like people don't understand just those basic steps of managing money. They don't have that discipline. And the fear that they'll have of putting that money into an investment, let's say even into a stock, even the S&P, something stable. If the S&P dropped 5-10%, imagine they see their $50,000 start dropping. They're not going to have the stomach to even know how to handle that. So it's not even about the capital. It's just about being educated on what to do with that capital. So, but I mean, even going to your point, absolutely correct.
And so they want to go from step zero to where you're at. They dismiss that, hey, it took you to get to this level of years and years of grinding, but they just want there wasn't. I can give you shortcuts to eliminate some of the pitfalls that I went through because I've been through them, but I can't get you to where I'm at. This was a journey,
Yeah.
this was a lot of belt to ass for me to learn this. But I can give you the steps, but you still have to go through your journey. And then that's the one thing I like that Dave Ramsey said is he said, maybe if I'm wrong, let's say if I'm wrong and the S&P don't, you in good growth stock mutual funds, and then it don't return you 12% and your net worth is not $10 million when you retire. Let's just say I'm half wrong. $5 million is still way better than where you was at. But the thing is that's the problem. People don't want to spend the time to gain the knowledge to even understand how things work, how the market works. Like one thing that people always get me with is, "Oh man, you just bought that rental property for $300,000. How long is it gonna take for you to get your money back?" They're thinking you need to get back the whole 300,000. The truth is your ROI or the money that you want back is the money that you put down. How fast do it take you to get that money back that you put down? The tenant is going to pay for the rest of it. So you're looking at how much cash flow and how long will it take to get it down? 12%, 15% might take you 6 years to get it back. You go deploy it somewhere else. But of course, you got other levers to pull in the real estate market. But if you don't understand the concept behind it, that's why people don't do it. Because they're looking at, oh, you paid 300,000. No, you didn't pay $300,000. You probably put $70,000, $80,000 down, maybe $100,000 down. What's the ROI on getting that money back to put it back? But people, those are different concepts that people don't understand. Like I do not ever recommend a stock to people that just come up to me and be like, "Hey, what stock to buy?" The only thing I might say, I'll repeat Warren Buffett's word, just put it in S&P 500. That's the most I go because I know they don't understand the concept of legging into an investment. They don't understand the concept of you want to buy and then you want the stock to go down and then you want to buy more shares at a lower price. You want to hold it for the long term. You want to study the business. They don't know how to study a business. They don't know how to look at financial statements. They don't know how to look at income statements. They don't know how to look at cash flow. They don't know how to look at none of that. They don't know how to look at PE, return on equity, dividend yield. They don't know how to look at none of that. So they don't have a concept. So only thing they thinking is, oh, I'm about to put my money here and it's going to go to the moon. That's why, and I'm providing them a disservice even if I give them a stock. And I get those calls a lot of people like, "Hey, I got my cousin sitting right here. He got $10,000. He got $50,000. What stock you recommend?" I said, "Go sell drugs." I don't know. I mean, but if it was somebody with knowledge and understood the market, then we can have a better conversation. But I can't have a conversation with somebody just, "Oh, I got this money. First time you got money and you don't even know what to do with it." Like me, I will always tell them, pay off your consumer debt. When you tell people that, like, what? Yeah, you want to be grown, you want to be the big boy in the room, and you want to take out the debt, but you want to find a way not to pay it back. You want to find a way to call the credit bureaus to try to get it off your credit report. But you was grown enough to take it out, but you ain't grown enough to pay it back. So those are the different concepts that people just don't get. And so, but going back to the statement at the beginning is, you know, having that gap is, and Alex, we had this conversation is you start building that gap, but you want to be true to everything that it was beat into you growing up of, hey, you got to be real to your family the only thing you got. But then you realize, hey, you start building that gap and then you realize, hey, all my family down here, all my friends down here can call me and I have the financial means to help them. But if I hit a roadblock or if a deal don't fall through or I took a risk and it didn't go through, I don't have nobody to call to help. Hell, even if everybody down here put all their money together and they say they're gonna give it to me, it still ain't even enough money to help me. So what is the point? It's you doing all this work to finance their bad decisions down here. Because every time you give them money, they're just gonna keep doing the same thing. Every time you pay their light bill, help them out with the mortgage, they just gonna go back to doing the same madness that they're doing. They ain't gonna sit there and be like, "Hey man, thanks cousin Alex for helping me out, man. Can you show me how to get to where you're? Can you show me how to get to where you're at, or can you show me how to do better in finances?" What they'll actually do, you will help them with money. You will call them and say, "Hey man, why don't we have a conversation to talk, help you with your finances?" Oh, just because you gave me some money, that don't mean you could tell me what to do. They get upset. But they weren't all upset when they asked for the money. But now they upset because you're trying to help them because you trying to get them to change their mentality or change their mindset and to change the actions that they're doing. That's the crazy part of it. Like a lady told me in Georgia yesterday, that's crazy work. Like that's crazy work.
That said, guys, if you have any questions or comments, let us know down below. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.